right thing.
Okay, man.
Now it's on to the classic.
Oh, yeah.
The classic, the elongated version of Whoop, Hush.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready as I ever be. I was late.
When I was just a little lad,
Just a little lad.
in Britches Yay High,
Richard J.
the neighbor girl, she sucked me out,
She sucked me out.
and I came in her eye.
Right in that eye.
Oh, whiskey,
Whiskey.
whiskey's for me.
All for me.
Oh, whiskey,
Whiskey.
whiskey for free.
All for free.
Now, when I was just about 13,
13 years.
I smoked my first cigar.
That first cigar, I didn't know you don't inhale. Why don't you inhale?
Because I got pretty pale.
Oh, whiskey. Whiskey. Whiskey.
Whiskey is for me.
All for me.
Oh,
Whiskey.
whiskey for free.
All for free.
Now, when I was just about 14,
14.
I drank my first rum.
Drank that rum.
I split it with a little lass,
Little lass.
and she chased it with cum.
Come.
Oh, whiskey. Whiskey's for me.
All for me.
Oh, whiskey.
Whiskey.
Whiskey for free.
Not for money.
Whiskey for free.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I like stalking girls,
Oh, he's a sicko.
driving by their houses, looking into darkened windows.
Oh, the dog windows is the best ones.
I never see anything, but I'm always hoping to see something.
Just praying. Just praying.
Just praying. That rare occasion where I might catch a young girl outside on her front lawn, possibly playing with children, or maybe doing some light yard work, like raking leaves. Well, that's not really light. Planting flowers. One time, I went up to a girl in the mall, and I said, "Hi, would you like a job?" And she said, "I could use a job. Currently, I am unemployed." And I said, "Well, I have a job for you." And she said, "Well, what kind of job would this be?" And I said, "Gardening." She said, "What kind of gardening?" And I said, "Mostly planting flowers." She said, "Planting flowers. Well, this sounds like a rather exciting offer to me. Do you know why? Because I, believe it or not, want to grow up and become a fucking botanist. That's how much I love planting flowers." And I said, "Huh! Well, I think I found a prospective employee." She said, "Well, how much does this job pay?" And I said, "Well, there's the down part right there. It pays $5.50 an hour." She said, "Huh! Minimum wage. I can do minimum wage. I've done a lot less than minimum wage, if you know what I mean." I said, "I know what you mean." And she said, "Where would I be planting these flowers?" And I said, "Oh, here and there. Would you have adequate transportation?" She said, "Well, my mom has a car." And I said, "That's just good. How old's your mom?" She said, 42. And I said, "That sounds pretty good." I said, "How old are you?" And she said, 13 and a half. No, 13 and 3/4. I turned 14 in August. And I said, "It's January." And she said, "Oh, well, what the hell would I be doing planting flowers in January?" And I said, I guess we think along the same lines." And then she said, "Well, no, actually I said, have you ever been committed and imprisoned for a felony?" And she said, "A few misdemeanors, but no felonies." And I said, "Lovely." She said, "One more question. Exactly what kind of flowers would I be planting? Because I'm very particular about the flowers that I plant. I'm kind of a racist gardener, or maybe a speciesist gardener." And I said, "Well, honey, I only like to plant one kind of flowers." And she said, "Well, what kind of flower would that be?" And I said, "Tulips." And she said, "Tulips. Tulips. you know, if I wasn't so young, old man, you are an old man, right? And I said, I guess so, compared to you, 13 3/4, gonna be 14 in August. She said, if you weren't so old, I would kiss you. And I said, oh yeah? Why? Because she said, I love tulips! I love tulips so much that I want to move to Holland because of all the fucking tulips! I think tulips are so fucking beautiful! And I said, hell, that sounds just lovely, little girl. And she said, one more question. Where would I be planting these tulips? And I said, on my cock! Oh, whiskey! Whiskey's for me!
Oh, for me!
Whoa, whiskey!
Whiskey! Whiskey!
Whiskey for free!
Not for money, but for free!
For free! What am I talking about here?
I think you're talking about the whiskey.
I'm talking about the whiskey. I ain't talking about the Molson Light, the Molson Golden, the Master Brow.
You ain't talking about the tequila, man.
I ain't talking about no freaking tequila, man. I ain't talking about vodka. You know why I ain't talking about vodka?
Vodka tastes like shit.
Vodka tastes like freaking rubbing alcohol. I would rather drink rubbing alcohol than vodka. I would rather drink Bud Light than rubbing alcohol. No, actually, I would rather drink vanilla extract than Bud Light. Have you ever tasted that shit? It tastes like
it tastes like ass.
it tastes like piss, actually.
Well, a little bit of both.
Well, let's get back to the subject here because we're talking about what?
Whiskey.
We're talking about whiskey. Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Whiskey tastes like bile, but it does the trick, man. It's the old Western flavor. You can get the Johnny Walker Red, you can get the Johnny Walker Black, you can get the old Tennessee. Oh, bourbon, that's the same thing. I think rye is the same thing as whiskey too. They call it rye sometimes.
Scotch whiskey.
Scotch whiskey. Scotch whiskey. Fucking bagpipe whiskey, man. The fucking Loch Ness Monster whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
That's the good shit. What are we talking about?
Well, I forgot what we're talking about.
We're talking about W.
W.
H.
H.
I. S.
S.
C.
C.
You know, I don't think there's a C in whiskey. I think there's a K. A K-E-Y. A key. A whiskey. Oh, whiskey. Whiskey for me. For me. Oh, whiskey.
Not for you, but for me.
For me too.
And for you too.
We're not talking about no fucking Twix here. No, two for me, don't for you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Twix. We talking about whiskey. Whiskey for me. Oh, whiskey. Whiskey for free. Shut that shit off, man. Press this stuff.